All right, I mentioned in the note that I sent out on Monday that this was going to be a special day, and it is indeed, because you get an opportunity to see some of the fruits of your labor, the benefits of some of the hard work that all of you put into our fundraising efforts, or some of our fundraising efforts from our radio auction. When we started a few years ago, we changed the focus a little bit of the radio auction and decided that we would start to select a primary beneficiary, an organization that was demonstrating service above self, and talk with that organization about how we could help them in a way that made a significant impact on their opportunity to serve our community. We've had some great organizations that we've helped, Mississippi Valley Therapeutic Horsemanship, the Honor Tour, out of poverty through education, other organizations that we have been able to make significant contributions to, well beyond some of the things that we've done in the past. And it's great to see how those funds get put to work by those organizations to provide the service to our community. This year, the board and the radio auction committee selected the Humane Society of Southeast Missouri as our primary beneficiary for this year's radio auction. And today is the day that we get to present this large fake check to them, demonstrating the proceeds that we'll be donating to them, that we'll be directing to them for work that they're going to continue to do on upgrades to their facility. Kelly, director of the Humane Society, was here several months ago and presented a program to us and talked about the services that the Humane Society provides for all of the pets and animals in our area. And I recall at the time thinking, what would our community look like if we didn't have a Humane Society? What would happen? What would happen to these pets, but also what would happen just in general? Our community would be worse off without the efforts of these folks. Of course, I'm happy to report also that none of the proceeds that we're going to present to them today will be required to go to replace the building that I nearly destroyed by dropping a tree on it a couple of months ago. I continue to claim that I had that fully under control, and Jerry, you can back me up on that. The tree was really not that close to falling on the building. Well, it was pretty close to falling on the building. So, but we made it through without any injuries or further incident. So this is, again, one of the great things that we get to do as an organization is to help other people who are helping our community. So with that, what I would like to have, we have some guests from the Humane Society here with us today, so I'd like for you to come up. I'd also like for Tim and the other members of the Radio Auction Committee to come forward, and we'll make this check presentation. Yeah, why don't we come out in front and do this? As you can see, we've been able to present the Humane Society with $15,000 from the proceeds from our radio auction, which I know will go a long way in helping to continue your mission and to do some of the needed repairs and things that you have in mind for this money. So we're happy to be able to do this. I think we probably will follow this up with an actual check at some point, but you might want to see our lovely and talented treasurer about that.
Well, that would be really good.
Yeah, okay. You don't think this will fit through the ATM?
All right, give me a big cheese here.
That's a nice segue into what I'm going to give you an update on where we're at the Humane Society and what we've got going on there with them. But first I would like to comment about Ted insulting one of our members about being an Oscar. I think Jack Klugman died 2 weeks ago. So, Rick, I think you look pretty good today. May I say the previous president did not engage in such activity. Okay, moving on to the Humane Society. Got a lot of things going on there with them in conjunction with the proceeds that we're going to give them. Number one, Edgewater Glass has agreed to replace all of the doors that are out there at the facility with new upgraded steel doors that will resist corrosion. If you haven't been out there recently, most of the door jambs and doors have actually eroded away, and there is a draft like you not believe that goes through that place, which drives their utility bill through the roof. So Edgewater has ordered those doors and are going to install them for around $5,000, and that is a significant reduction in what, if we went there to buy the doors just as residential customers, they would be significantly more than that. Larry Schuessler has actually been making all the contacts with the contractors and whatnot, negotiating these prices. So that's a good deal there. And actually the doors are on order and should be in. Today's Thursday. They may actually be in Friday, and then they're going to make contact with you to come out there and put them up. Another thing that we're doing for them is the ceiling in the Humane Society is very badly deteriorated, especially back over the kennel park. Buckeyes, Larry has negotiated with them, and they're going to give us all the supplies for that, screws, everything that we need for $1,400. What we need to do is supply manpower to go put the ceiling up. And right now we have a tentative workday scheduled of January the 26th to go out there and try that. So we're going to firm that date up, and then we'll send out an email. But we're going to need manpower, guys with drills can get screws up into a ceiling, and we're just going to try to knock this thing out as fast as we can. But 2 people can't do it. We're going to need several folks out there that have some dexterity that can go in there and help put this ceiling up. Another project we have negotiated is Welker Fence Company is going to go and fix all of the fencing that's out there, put new latches on the gates that need new latches on. There are some fencing that's been eaten away and deteriorated over time. Cut through. And they're going to do all that for $750. So as you can see, of the $15,000, as we can negotiate more with folks and get them to do some pro bono work for us out there, etc., this 15 is going to go a long way. And then we have some other things that we're planning on doing later for them, but those are the 3 initial impact activities that we have going on. They also are getting a new roof, and that has nothing to do with us, but they're getting a new 35-year roof put on from, I guess, some damage that they had done, and the insurance company that they have is putting the new roof on their building. And that's actually, is it done now, or?
It's close.
It's close.
End of day where it's projected to be.
Go Green Contracting is actually doing that for them at a very, very good rate. So having a new roof on it. What's that?
No, I had nothing to do with that.
I was there that day when that happened, and Ted has mastered the art of being a revisionist historian, is all I can tell you.
Sorry, I wasn't.
You're probably glad you weren't.
So that's where we're at as of now. These projects are, the train's left the station. It's going down a track, and we'll get it taken care of. But we are going to need, put January 26th down as a tentative date to go out there and do some work as far as the ceiling goes. That is a Saturday. So we'll have a board meeting, I guess, on the 14th. And I'll have visited with Larry again by then, but we'll be doing that. So, you got anything you want to?
Just to touch, and I promise not to pull a typical Charlotte Craig, but I'll get coffee and donuts for the 26th, or I'll bake a carrot cake. Just to give you an example of how far the doors are going to go and the utility bill, we're writing a check for $700 for the utilities last month.
1 month?
1 month. So what is 7 times 12? Because in the, yeah. So there's a cost savings there. The young man who, Pat Ketting, is the owner of, is it Go Green or Go Green, is also looking at some other, he's also throwing in some free things, wrapping some wood fascia, I don't know what that means, looking at a solar system for the roof. So it's really going to be cost effective. Now the gates, Kelly will attest to the fact that this has been high. I'd rather do that first. We have dog fights out there because these latches don't hold. If we hadn't had a man out there last summer who was as big as Darren and hefty and strong, I think we would have had some serious human injuries with some bloodhounds that, coonhounds that got really upset about being there. And they can barrel through these. This building is, the gates are probably, I'm thinking 35, maybe 40 years old. And the fencing company had never seen these strange latches that we have out there. So safety, when we go in sometimes and open the door and there's a dog out in the aisle. So that's great. And what you all have done is great. It's creating traction for the Humane Society. I would like, and Kelly too, to come maybe quarterly and to tell you things about what are going on, other things that we're doing for fundraising. We're like the little, as he said, the choo-choo train that's like the track. We're coming up with new ideas, and as I said, have the best board ever. And things, I've been around for 35 years, and I've seen more in the last, not even the full year, 8 months, than I have seen happen in 30 years. So, hats off to you.
Really have anything else to say except thank you. We're very, very, very grateful. The dogs and cats, guinea pigs, rabbits, bunnies, all the animals are going to be benefited from this tremendously. So thank you very much. Great.
Well, and now for the second part of our presentations today. That's obviously a great segue into the next thing we need to talk about. You know, we started. I don't know whose idea it was to come up with the radio auction. You guys have been around, what's 47 years ago now, Jerry? Well, I'm looking at somebody that might remember this radio. Yeah, John was here.
We used to see you on the KSIM.
Right. Yeah.
Broadway,
Yeah.
and we'd just sit in that little office.
Yeah. Right. But all those many years ago, members of this club had the idea that we can help the community, but we need to find ways to raise money to do that. And so the radio auction was born. And each year that I've been a member of the club, for some reason, somebody keeps asking me to be an auctioneer. And you don't realize the risk that you're putting yourselves in by putting me live on the radio, because you may not have noticed this, but there's really not much telling what's going to come out of my mouth from time to time. So all potential FCC violations aside, every year that I'm on the radio, one of the things that I remind all of us of is that there would be no radio auction without the radio. And that radio has been provided to us for 47 years by KZIM, KSIM. And I just ask each of you to think about the commitment that that company has made to your organization for all these many years. You know, we go out, each of us goes out and knocks on doors and makes phone calls to potential donors to try to get them to give us a $50 gift card to some place, or a drill, or in many cases much larger donations as well. But KZIM gives us their entire day of programming. That's a big deal. Without their assistance and their support, we couldn't have a radio auction. And I know that as I've gone and talked with other Rotary leaders, either at Show Me Rotary or just in the discussions I have with presidents of other clubs, and they hear about this effort that we have and the success that we have each year and this long-term commitment, your club is envy of many others, because this is a rarity. It's unusual that an organization will do for us what KZIM has done for us. It's also unusual that something continues on for so many years as our radio auction has. So we thought that we needed to do something to recognize KZIM's effort. Derek had the idea that we present them with an award for that. And so we have done just that. And I want to read to you what this award says. Well, first, let me have Faun Riggin come up here. Everyone knows Faun. Let's welcome Faun. longtime supporter of our efforts and always gracious host and
Do you need help holding
keeps
that?
me. It's pretty heavy. It's not hand it to you. Always tries to keep me out of jail by giving me this when I'm talking too much on the radio. So, but let me read to you what this says. It's the Community Partner Award. Since 1965, as sponsor of the Cape West Rotary Radio Auction, KZIM, KSIM has exemplified the highest ideals of Rotary, service above self. So I'd like to present this to Faun
Thank you.
and extend our heartfelt thanks to you for all of your help and support. I told you it was heavy.
Service above self is one of the reasons why we continue to support the Cape West Rotary, because we actually believe that too, which is why we do coffee breaks the way that we do for the community, to let them know about the events that you have coming up. And we do have new owners and new management, so sometimes there's a little arm twisting to get them to understand that we do still need to continue to offer this radio auction. And they have decided that it is a good idea, so it will continue. And I do want to give just kind of a thank you to the radio group or committee that you have for allowing us to just take your radio auction and high-tech it this year. Because I think it went really, really well. I think that the whole setup was really good. I think you did great. Therefore, you can be in-house. It sounds better. There are no phone lines to deal with. There are no, sure, everything works. You get there that morning and nothing works. So none of that happens. And I just really, really want to thank you for helping the Humane Society. Charlotte's my queen. She knows that. Kelly's up and coming. And it's really something that needs to happen. And I'm really upset with you for eating bunnies. I'm just saying. It's a bad thing. You shouldn't be doing that. But without further ado, I just want to give back to you the thanks that you've given to me for the things that you do for the community, and that's pretty much it. So thanks. And by the way, Cody, you make me feel very badly about myself.
Yes, sir, Ralph.
And I'd just like to comment that probably back in the early to mid-'80s, I was volunteered to be the chairman of the radio auction, and at that time we were doing the auction down at the radio station, so that's kind of come around full circle. But it was on Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon.
Uh-huh.
And that was when the talk about blue laws was going on, you know, about at that time the blue laws was prohibited sales on Sunday afternoon. Somebody called during the advertising the week before and said that it was really illegal for us to be doing this on Sunday afternoon. So Jerry Zimmer, who was a member of our club at that particular time, we told him about that, and he immediately cleared programming all day on the Saturday before so we could have the whole day to our auction, and he literally saved our auction that year.
Well, great. That's a great story. Thanks. Well, thanks again, Faun, for all that you do for us. We look forward to
We made about
this year's.
$2,000 too in those years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We're doing a little bit better than that now,
Little bit
but we've got a lot more upside opportunities. And a final comment about the auction. And Faun talked about how we kind of high-teched it. We meaning the members of the committee, along with Faun and her staff as well. If you weren't there that day, if you didn't have an opportunity to come by, it was pretty cool how we were doing things. When we were on the air, everything was computerized. Darren's been leading that effort and helping a lot. If you think this year was pretty cool from a tech standpoint, I'd say wait until next year. I don't think I'm overstating that. We've got some really neat things coming. So next year's auction will be even better and hopefully the best that we've ever had.